Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is the second chapter. Now the name of the chapter is Roman numerals. So let us start. Now before going to the term that is Roman numeral, we should have some basic idea about the different types of numerals that we use in mathematics. There are basically two different types. One is the Roman numeral and the other is the Hindu-Arabic numeral. So let us see what are these things. First is the Hindu-Arabic numerals. We know the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, ... up to infinity. These are all classified under the Hindu-Arabic numerals. Then what is Roman numeral? Symbols like 1, this 1, 2, 3, 4, ... up to m I have given here because you will be studying up till m. That is m denotes 1000, you will see very soon. So whenever we see this type of symbols, these are the representation of these Hindu-Arabic numerals. Clear? So this type of symbols are called the Roman numerals. Now let us see. The 7 basic symbols to write any Roman numeral and their corresponding Hindu-Arabic numerals are given below as follows. Now there are 7 basic symbols that you should keep in your mind. These symbols are nothing but these are also Roman numerals and they represent some Hindu-Arabic numerals. Now you might be thinking, are there only 7 Roman numerals? No. There are a lot of Roman numerals, but these 7 are very important because these are the basic Roman numerals. Now let us see what are these things. Now you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These 7 are the basic Roman numerals and their representation in the Hindu-Arabic numeral are these. This denotes 1, this denotes 5, this denotes 10, this is 50, this is 100, D denotes 500 and M denotes 1000. So these are the basic Roman numerals that we should keep in our mind. Using this only we can form the other Roman numerals. Let us see how to form them. Now there are some rules for forming the Roman numerals. We cannot just form as we like. There are some rules that needs to be followed while forming the Roman numerals. Let us see what are the rules. Rule number 1. Repetition of the Roman numerals means addition. If you repeat the same symbol or the same Roman numeral more than one, then it means addition. Let us see. Caution. Caution is nothing but these are some of the exceptions that we should keep in mind while repeating. While repeating also there are some rules that we need to follow. The first rule is that only symbols like this, this and this can be repeated. Other symbols cannot be repeated. Only these symbols can be repeated. Now symbols like this cannot be repeated. Now how many times can it be repeated? This is also another question that might arise in our mind. No numerals can be repeated more than 3 times. Even though these symbols or these Roman numerals can be repeated, but they can be repeated only 3 times, not more than that. Let us see some examples. You will be understanding more clearly. Now this has been repeated twice, you can see. So this denotes 1 and this denotes 1. So according to the rule, if repetition occurs, that it means addition. So I have added here. Similarly, it has repeated 3. So 1 is added 3 times. The answer is 3. Now next, this symbol, the X symbol. This has been repeated twice. So we have added it. Repeated thrice. We have added it 3 times. Now this symbol C. This also can be repeated according to the rule. Similarly, we have repeated it twice and thrice. M, this can also be repeated. We have added it twice and thrice, because only maximum we can repeat is 3 times, not more than that. I hope this is clear, this rule. Now moving on, rule number 2. Now a smaller numeral written to the right of a larger numeral is always added to the larger numeral. Now this rule might not be clear to you. Let us see some example, then it will be more clear. Say this V, or which we denote as 5, is larger than this 1, obviously. And since the smaller numeral is written to the right of the larger numeral, this is the smaller numeral and it is written to the right of V. So this will be added to the larger numeral. That is, 5 is the larger numeral and it is added to the larger numeral. So we get 6. Similarly here also, as well as in these cases. Here x is the larger Roman numeral and 1 is the smaller Roman numeral, so it will get added since it is in the right side of the larger numeral. Clear? In this case it's also the same thing. Here v is smaller than x, so and since v is on the right of x, so it will get added. These are also some of the other examples you can see. These all are given in your textbooks. Here also 3 times repeated, so it will be 30, and since this 30 is less than this L denotes 50, and since these are all in the right side of L, so it will get added up. Clear? Similarly here also, as well as here. Now moving on to the next rule. Rule number 3. Now this is just the opposite of the earlier rule. In the earlier case, the smaller numeral was on the right hand side of the larger numeral. Now what if the smaller numeral is on the left hand side of the larger numeral? So this is the rule, says a smaller numeral written to the left of the larger numeral is subtracted. It is just the opposite, subtracted. Let us see. And there are some other important terms you can see here. These symbols cannot be subtracted. That means these symbols cannot be written on the left side of the larger numeral. Now this can be subtracted only from this and this. This is a rule. Let us see. Now let us see. You can see here that example is given here. Now this 1 is a smaller numeral than this v, that is the 5. And since it is on the left hand side, so it will get subtracted from 5. Similarly here also, this 1 is on the left hand side of 10, so it will get subtracted from 10. And you can see according to the rule, this 1 can be subtracted only from this and this. So this and this, not any other symbol. Now number 3, x can be subtracted from L and C only. This can be written only on the left hand side of L and C, not any other number. And similarly we subtract it. Very simple. Now number 4, C can be subtracted from D and M only. Let us see. C will be written on the left hand side. D. We have not written M here, but if you write C on the left hand side of M, what it will be? It will be 1000 minus C denotes 100, so 1000 minus 100 it will be 900. I have not written it here. You can try it out by yourself. So I hope rule number 3 is clear to you. Now moving on to the last rule, that is rule number 4. When a smaller numeral is placed between two larger numerals, say a smaller numeral is placed in between two larger numerals, means on the left hand side and on the right hand side there are two larger numerals, and in between there is a smaller numeral, then what to do? Then it will be subtracted. Which will be subtracted? The smaller numeral will be subtracted from the larger numeral immediately following it. Means the larger numeral, which is following the smaller numeral, that smaller numeral will get subtracted from that larger numeral which is just after it. Let us see one example. It will be more clear to you. Say in this example, this 1 is in between 10 and 5. So this both 10 and 5 are larger numerals, and this is a smaller numeral in between the two larger numerals. So, according to the rule, what will happen, since it is in the middle and this is just following this 1, so it will be subtracted from this v. So that's the same thing we have done. X denotes 10 and this 1 will be subtracted from 5. So that's it. We got the value. Similarly, here also this 1 is in between both this 10. So it will be subtracted from the 10 which is just after this. Clear? So I hope this much is clear to you all. One more example is there. You can see here. This denotes, this is the one, yes. So rest of the thing is C denotes 100, X denotes 10, it will be as it is. Now this is in the middle and then following it is 5. So it will be subtracted from 5. And then the simple calculation. This X which denotes 10 is in between these two hundreds. So 100 plus, then it will be subtracted from this 100. This next 100, not the previous one. The one which is following it means the next one. So this is clear to you all. So I hope all the 4 rules are very much clear to you all. So please go through the textbook and also try to do the Roman numerals that have been given in your textbook so that you can understand it much better. I hope you all have understood this thing clearly, but please go through the textbook once again, I repeat, to have a clear idea and practice as much as you can, because as we know, mathematics is all about practice. So that's it for today. Thank you and have a nice day.